And now we have the one and only Nikhil Iyer back on the podcast. And I have a new guest, which is one of my favorite people now from Nagpur, Rohil Zalke. Welcome both of you to the PWS podcast.
Hi, Kashi. Thank you so much, Kashi. Thank you, Kashi.
Thanks a lot, Grishev.
Since Rohil, you're a new guest, can you give us a little introduction to yourself?
Yeah, sure. Myself, Rohil Zalke. I belong to Nagpur, Maharashtra. Currently, I am working as a specification engineer in Central India's largest construction chemical company, which is Apple Chemi India Private Limited. Talking about my hobbies, I just love reading and watching documentaries. So that's all about me.
That's quite interesting. Thanks for introducing. The other day I was talking to Nikhil, and we were discussing about interviews because Nikhil is a mentor in the Mumbai and the Maharashtra SHG of the Indian state of Maharashtra. And Nikhil recently has had some interview experiences. So, Nikhil, what's up with you, and how have the interviews been for you, and for the also for the mocks that you've conducted in the recent past?
Sure, Kashi. Thank you so much, Kashi, first of all, for conducting this beautiful podcast. And me and Rohil and, and everyone, I'm really grateful to you for this podcast. Thank you so much. Kashi, first of all, let me start by saying, that in any interview, you know, so recently in the recent past, the last few months, last 3 to 4 months, I have given uh, many interviews. Like every interview, what really matters is your knowledge and your job skills that you possess. Because so talking about my interview experience, I had given interviews in many places. So first thing what I did was in the interview, before the interview began, I said to the interviewer that I stammer and I would take few seconds more to speak. So after I told this thing that I stammer, as soon as the word comes stammer, from your mind, the fear of stammering, automatically goes off. Because in any interview, what is the most important thing is when a person goes in the interview, he or she always have this fear of stammering in the mindset that even when they know the answer, they say, "Ki, when I have this fear of stammering, and what would the interviewer will be thinking about my block?" And because of that, sometimes it happens that what answer, even when knowing the answer, we tend to forget the answer. It happens many times. So as soon as before the interview begins, we say I stammer and I may take few seconds more to speak my answer. That's it. This is what we need to say. So what happens on this is that the fear of stammering, it automatically goes off from your mind. But if now let us take an example where you don't say this. Okay. So what will happen is if we get a block in the interview, the interviewer might think that this person is kind of nervous in giving the answer. He may even disqualify because it is not uh, necessary that the interviewer would have the knowledge of stammering. It is not necessary. The interviewer might even disqualify you because he might think that you don't know the answer, and you're trying to be nervous in the interview. So if we tell the interviewer that I stammer and I will take 2 seconds more, then even you are imparting knowledge to the interviewer as well. What will happen is that when you say that you stammer in the interview, before the interview begins, from your mind, the fear of stammering will automatically go, and the interviewer is only going to focus on your knowledge and your job skills. That's it. So this is what happened to me that I gave many interviews, and each and every interview, even in an interview which I gave to a company, there were about 6 interviewees, who were interviewing me. There were about 6 interviewers. They were uh, 6 panelists, and I told all the 6 panelists that I stammer before the interview begins. And after the interview, they all appreciated me, for my knowledge. Everyone appreciated me, and that interview lasted for about 1.5 hours. So that much that interview lasted, and all the
1.5
panelists
hours.
they appreciated me for my knowledge.
That
Yeah,
is
1.5 hours
long.
almost. Yeah, and all the interviewers, like all the panelists, they really appreciated my knowledge. And in all the interviews which I gave, all the panelists they judge only on my knowledge and the job skills that I had. And because of my good knowledge, I got means I got offer letters, from many companies, and I was like extremely happy, because I could clear so many like, interviews, even being a PWS, even being a person who stammer. But as I said, the important thing is the knowledge. If you have knowledge, and you should be very confident enough to answer all the questions that the interviewer is asking you. You have to answer all the questions. If not all the questions, you have to answer maximum questions what the interviewer is asking you. And if you know the answer very well, you have to say the answer confidently in the interview. And and as I said, before the interview begins, I have to say that you stammer. So what is going to happen is that the fear of stammering will automatically go from your mind. So this is what I did in all the interviews. And let me say, knowledge is divine. If you have good knowledge, you can get any in the world. Yes, Vishnu. Back to you, brother.
Okay, so there were there were not two, but there were three things that I took away, and let me summarize this. One is the first thing that you do is you reveal that you have a stammer or a stutter. And what this does is this removes your fear of a future block or a potential block that you might get, which is very insightful. I have personally done this as well. In fact, my last job interview, when I was looking for a job last year, took place, and it was with a PWS entrepreneur in UK. So that was a very special, like that was a coincidence. But before that, I
Entrepreneur.
met his wife. Yes, and she interviewed me, and towards during the conversation, I revealed, that yes, I'm a person who stammers. And what this does is, this shows awareness that you know who you are. Uh, like this is like I know who I am. I do stammer. I accept it. It sends out a very positive message. The second thing that I took away is that competence matters, and like competence is king. Competence and content, these two things are king. What are you going to talk about? That is what matters. And the third thing that I took from Nikhil is, that you got to make yourself feel comfortable in the interview, which is something I've learned from our past conversations, but it's very well gelled up with, what we are talking about, which is interviews. And I believe Rohil,
Vishnu,
yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I would like to add, one more point in this.
sure, sure.
And even we have to remember that the interviewer also was an interviewee, once, and the interviewer who is going to take the interview is actually a normal person, and he or she also has the same amount of knowledge that you have. So we have to also keep this in mind. That the interviewer is not a, like a very like a big kind of person. He's also like a very normal person, and he also possesses like the same knowledge like what you have. and he's only like going to judge you on your knowledge. And so this kind of inferiority complex, you have to like remove from your mind. In this. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that too, that it's a two-way conversation. It's not like me, the interviewee, is on the spot, but it's a conversation. It is a very professional conversation between two professionals. So that mindset is very important. And thanks for sharing, Nikhil. Rohil, what about you? What has your
It's a honor.
interview? Yeah, what has your interview experience been in the past?
Yeah, so talking about me, like I have heard it from many people that don't tell too much about you. Like, what do you like to do? Like, other than your after your working hours, what do you like to do, and then all that thing. But then I feel that we should definitely to tell them that that what are what are hobbies or what we actually like to do, like during my interview, as Nikhil Iyer told, that first of all we should definitely tell them that yes, we stammer, and that puts up in a positive side. And secondly, I have feel that when we tell the interviewers that apart from this so and so technical skills, I also participate in other organizations like the Indian Stammering Association. I told them that I brought up few events like the presentation event, and then the TISA debate event. And then many people, they feel that we shouldn't talk about such things in front of the interviewers, but then that's a completely wrong idea. We should tell them that that how we are contributing to this society. So then even that's a very important point.
That's true.
Yeah, and back to you.
I think that's very true that, what are we doing in terms of volunteering experience? I can tell you from personal experience that when I was in UK, volunteering counts as work experience because volunteering shows that uh, you're ready to work even when you're not getting paid, and that means a lot because it's not just about getting paid, but it's about giving service. So it shows that the person is a service oriented person. And actually, Nikhil and Rohil, these are two people, I know that, sir, they are just service oriented. How Nikhil is conducting the offline meetings now in Mumbai. Rohil has initiated a new WhatsApp group for people in Nagpur, in the central India, in the state of Maharashtra. There's a city called Nagpur, and Rohil has initiated a group, and he's formed a group of people who stammer, people who stutter in the Nagpur region. So that shows that there is a leadership skill along with communication, along with so many soft skills that are required to lead a group of 10, 20, 50, maybe even 100. I'm sure the Mumbai group has a very big audience. So these are transferable skills that you can take from your volunteering experience to your actual job, and that really helps. So another key tip from me is just keep volunteering until you get a proper full-time job. because every experience counts, every life experience counts. What are your thoughts, Nikhil and Rohil, on the volunteering experience of, running self-help groups in your respective cities?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Let me start with very nice point you have put. When we try to volunteer, for example, through TISA, the Indian Stammering Association had been hosting a lot of meetings in TISA in the last 8 years, almost 7 to 8 years. I have been hosting meetings in Mumbai SSG, both online, offline. I have hosted a lot of meetings, everything. So through this leadership qualities, what we have. So same leadership qualities we also apply in our own work environment. When you are trying to lead a team, so all this, what experience you're doing as a volunteer, or when you're hosting a meeting. So for example, when you're hosting a meeting, so the entire meeting agenda is in your hands. So as you will plan, so the people will work as per your plan. So what you're planning, like you're planning something like extempore speech, or you're planning a kind of group discussion, anything. So the people will act as per your plan. So here you're planning something, you're hosting, you're taking the leadership skills in your hand, and you're hosting the event. So same skill what you're applying in TISA. So for example, what I did in TISA, also I have applied in my work life also. When I try to lead a team, in my office, the same leadership skills what I apply when I'm hosting a meeting is also important. Is they're also far more effective in my own work environment. So even in my real life also, these skills I'm implementing. So these volunteering experience what we are doing, it really counts in our real world also, and it helps us, in forming a better idea what we are like idea we are doing when hosting a meeting. The same idea we can also apply in a real work life environment. So these volunteering experience, it really matters a lot. It counts a lot in your own life. So yeah, that's what I can say.
That's incredible. And, I'm sure that you are still learning more skills while serving people who stammer in Mumbai. And, today, this morning, I was just speaking to Rohil and I was saying that those who serve others often help them, that service helps them even more. So the more you spread, the more it comes back to you. Rohil, what are your thoughts, and how has the your volunteering experience, how has that those skills transferred into your job now?
Yeah, so whatever point just Nikhil Iyer spoke, I totally agree with that. And talking about how it has affected my professional life. So then now, like even my managers, they appreciate me for a few of my what initiatives at my professional work. And many of times I have seen that I am not hesitant to talk about it with my managers and my higher management team at our company. And the other thing which I will really to talk about regarding volunteering is that we should never wait for another person to take up that initiative. Like for example, if I am feeling that so and so scenario or so and so thing should be, then we should stand up for that. We should not wait for another person and suffer till that time. We should be the one who should come up first.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
then back to
like,
you.
okay, to summarize, we shouldn't let fear come in between, and try to communicate openly with everyone.
Yeah,
Removing this,
definitely.
removing this filter of a PWS, and speaking to the management like anybody else would, and keeping your uh, points in front of them,
Yeah,
which
right,
is
right.
which
Then
is
that's how
what.
volunteering has
Yes,
helped me.
exactly. So volunteering has given you a lot of confidence and competence. So, as we were speaking earlier, uh, confidence comes from competence, and competence also, in some cases, comes from confidence. So it's very important, that we keep developing ourselves. And Nikhil and Rohil, you've been doing a great job. I'm sure that this is not only helping you professionally, but also in your personal life, in your speech, in your social life, in your speaking experience. And, I'm very glad that we have met today to share these interview tips, some key insights. In terms of point of action, Nikhil, according to you, any final thoughts, any point of action for people who want to develop more skills through volunteering?
Yeah, sure, Kashi. Kashi, like for example, I had developed my volunteering skills, by hosting exam meetings, by taking the initiatives in my hand. So people who want to take initiative, they have to take the initiative. They have to like start hosting a meeting. They have to plan all the activities. So like with planning, they can in a way they can effectively uh, implement that planning. What they are planning. So the first important phase is planning, and then after planning, they have to implement what they plan. So that is the first thing what a volunteer should do. So I want to say that first implement your plan, first plan activity, then implement your plan, and then take it to uh, another level. By bringing more people in what you plan, and so that what you plan, it can be an effective planning by bringing in more people, by taking more ideas, and you have to implement those ideas. So with these things, you can develop your own leadership skills, and you can take that leadership skills in another level, and you can implement those things in your college life, in your project, in your work environment, and wherever you go. That's
Okay. And Rohil?
So my message to my fellow PWS will be like, first of all, uh, read good books, read about good people who have brought change in this society. Secondly, you are stronger than you actually know yourself. Thirdly, as Nikhil Iyer said, that we should get involved into voluntary work, because as we just talked about it, it has many benefits. And lastly, I will I will like to conclude that work on our like we should work on our soft skills. Like when I say that soft skills, I do not I am not trying to say it like what our society has labeled soft skill as fluency. Soft skills means, for me, soft skill means working on body language, working on the content, and working on how we can work as a whole, as a one group. So then that's what soft skills mean for me. So then we should definitely work on soft skills. So over to you.
Okay, so to summarize this, Nikhil has mentioned volunteer, take more initiatives, just like Rohil took initiative in the Nagpur city. And Rohil suggests read more books and develop soft skills. Those are some key insights, and these are going to really help all of you in the long term. Thank you, Rohil. Thank you, Nikhil. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Rishi. It was a real honor, and it is our very pleasure.
Thank you.
And it was a honor for me as well to share this stage with such a guy whose name is Nikhil Iyer, who is a mentor to many PWS in the Indian Stammering Association. So then it is truly my honor to share this stage with him.
And Rohil, let me add one thing. It's my honor also. And Rohil is one of the persons who has like worked very hard on his stammering, and the way he has come up, like what I saw him 2 years back, and now it's like a completely different Rohil. And Rohil has like he has one of the PWS along with Ashima, who has represented country for TISA. He has taken part in the Stutter Fest event, and he has spoken about TISA in front of almost 50 to 55 countries. That is something
Wow.
of huge achievement for Rohil, and
That's great.
also like Rohil is like a very active participant in TISA, and he's been doing a wonderful work. So Rohil, I want to say that you keep up this good work what you're doing, and like yeah, and stay happy.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you
and
very
lots
much.
of luck to both of you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Rishi, and Rishi, you're also doing a wonderful work, brother. Doing a great
Thank
job
you.
to this podcast, and it's really amazing to share platform with you and Rohil.
Thank you.